Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Brooke faces danger. Luna's fierce fight erupts. Bold and the Beautiful 2-week spoilers for July 28th to August 8th. 2025 have Brooke Logan in jeopardy and Luna Nozoa fighting for her life. Bold and the Beautiful Monday 28th. As they have been doing for the past several weeks, Bold and the Beautiful revealed their spoilers late. That's why we've got 2-week spoilers out for you today. Just real quick, if you have not seen Monday, July 28th's episode, it was season 38, episode 217. I'll tell you what occurred real quick. Steffi Forrester is ready to leave LA. Steffi is out on her maternity break. Kid number 5, honestly, might have already been born since her last episode aired. That indicates, she concluded, filming roughly 4 weeks ago. So, we'll let you know a firm return date as we have it. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Bill and Liam's heart-to-heart. Bill Spencer told Liam Spencer he spent $1 million on his miraculous surgery, stunning his son. Bill and Liam had a lot of squishy, loving father-son moments that were really pleasant on Monday. Finn Finnegan is suspicious and examined out Liam's surgery wound, and he thinks it looks wrong. A very anxious Grace Buckingham was at the mansion outside the door, eavesdropping, where Finn was talking about how it just didn't look like it was a big enough wound. Things like that. And again, I assume it's just a flesh wound. I think she hardly sliced him open, stitched it up, went on because she's lying. We'll find out. At the Forrester Creations office, Taylor Hayes practically told Brooke, "Bro, stop trying to skank your way into bed with my fiancé," while she scowled at Taylor. And Brooke seems to be planning exactly that. Taylor says she doesn't respect her relationship. I'm sure Brooke felt the same way when Taylor climbed in bed with Ridge Forrester, 5 seconds after he decided he was going to break up with Brooke and hadn't even actually told her. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Eric confronts Nick. Nick Marone went by Forrester to chat to Brooke about Italy, and he was becoming romantic with her. Eric Forrester was eavesdropping and then followed Nick out to tell him, "Don't go to Italy. Bugger off." Ridge and Brooke are reconciling. Same stuff. Eric again told Ridge, and only Eric appears certain of this. Brooke's hopeful about it. Eric certain. Nick reminded Eric that Ridge is engaged to Taylor. Bold and the Beautiful Italy trip spoilers. Brooke, Ridge, and Nick's love triangle drama. On Tuesday, July 29th, it's season 38, episode 218 of Bold and the Beautiful. Eric, Brooke, and Ridge hit Italy, and Nick is over there too. Forrester Creations is partnering with Italian designer Luisa Bicaria. There's going to be an outstanding fashion display, including Brooke as one of the models. Ridge and Brooke will arrive at the fashion show together on a boat and display a united front like they did at the most recent fashion show, even though they're not physically participating. He's still rejecting her. It looks like Eric may be the one who planned for Brooke and Ridge to come on that boat. Just the two of them, because he is forcing them together. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Nick makes proposal plans. Eric toasts the crowd as they await Brooke and Ridge's entrance at the fashion show. Meanwhile, Nick is ready to hop on a boat of his own and head over to Capri to meet Brooke. But the maintenance guy is working with something on the boat, and that irritates Nick, who's impatient. It appears like Brooke has to wait till the repair is done. Nick's yacht isn't going to be ready until the next day, and we see that he's stashed an engagement ring for Brooke in his pocket. This week in the promo, Nick said it's time for the fun to begin. So he walked up and said, "Hey, I heard you're not with Ridge anymore." He got one kiss out of her and he's like, "I'm going to propose." Brad Bell is just the worst writer. If you disagree, put it in the comments, but it's just horrible. Midweek Bold and the Beautiful drama. Eric's push for Ridge and Brooke. Fashion show tensions. Wednesday, July 30th is season 38. Episode 219 of Bold and the Beautiful. Eric is clear that he wants Ridge to reunite with Brooke on this Italy vacation. This is probably the 7th time they have had this conversation. Eric says it. Ridge is like, "I'm with Taylor. Please stop it." Eric persists. This time he tells Ridge, it's time to make a decision between Brooke and Taylor. Even though Ridge has already made that decision and instructed his dad to butt out. The fashion show continues midweek, but it also looks like there's going to be tremendous drama thereafter. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Brooke overcome with emotion. Thursday, July 31st to season 38, episode 220 of Bold. Brooke becomes upset thinking back about all the time she and Ridge had been in Italy together. Then we're going to have a scenario with Ridge and Brooke looking really tense. Nick is part of that in Italy. Nick and Ridge are going to get into a fight. Looks like more of a war of words than an actual physical brawl, but one can always hope. This week, Brooke is going to crack on Ridge when she again doesn't get what she wants, which is his dumping Taylor and choosing her. At the same time, Ridge is also trying to stop Brooke from going after Nick. Brooke has had enough and is going to tell Ridge to step off and follow Nick. Luna's life in danger and Sheila's suspicions. Bold and the beautiful hospital drama. Back in L.A., Sheila Carter suspects Lee Finnegan knows more about Luna than she is letting on. Luna is not dead. People who didn't believe she was in a coma believe it this week. Luna is not even on a breathing tube, only on oxygen. She's unconscious in a hospital bed. Leah's got her someplace tucked away, whether it's a clinic or her apartment, but Lee vows she is not going to let Luna die. Deacon Sharp supports Sheila's sorrow of her granddaughter despite his own harsh thoughts towards Luna. He's probably delighted Luna is dead, but he wouldn't tell Sheila that. Sheila is going to persuade Lee to allow her say farewell to Luna for closure. When that chat goes odd, Sheila starts to believe there's more going on. Romantic proposals and family tensions. Nick's plan and Eric's warnings in Bold and the Beautiful. Friday, August 1st, episode 221 of season 38. Eric advises Nick to quit pursuing Brooke and instructs him certainly not to propose. He's not going to listen. Nobody's listening to Eric. He needs to butt out. Nick fantasizes about and creates a plan for his big proposal to Brooke. It appears like he wants to do it on a boat. Also, Brooke and Nick are planning to spend a romantic lunch out in Italy. They're holding hands and enjoying the scenery. She is pretty upset at Ridge right now, but hasn't given up. Also this week, Will Spencer talks to Electra Forrester. They're very cool and delighted that Luna's dead. Will starts telling Electra he believes she needs to do some modeling to fill in for Brooke while she's out of town. Upcoming Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Brooke's danger, Ridge's epiphany, and Luna's fight for life. The week of August 4th through the 8th, we're going to wrap up those Italy sequences. Nick is getting set to propose to Brooke. They have this romantic meal and will be on a boat. I am wondering if it is Nick's yacht that Brooke jumps off of. We'll talk about that in a minute because she is going to be in danger. Ridge's enlightenment comes early in the week before they depart to head back to L.A. Brooke has some type of mishap, and that is what prompts Ridge to understand Brooke is the one for him. Looks like her life is going to be in jeopardy. Nick may be involved. Ridge gets to play hero. I'm interested to see if Nick has the chance to propose, or maybe he does propose, and right after the words are out of his mouth, Brooke falls overboard on the boat. That would be kind of a fun response to getting proposed to. Sheila is soon going to find out what Lee is hiding about Luna. I simply wonder if Lee is going to confess to Sheila, or if Sheila will find it out for herself. Luna is battling for her life, but the issue is, what life is left for her? And what does Lee have planned when she pulls her back from the edge of death? Finn receives another huge hint. He already recognized that Liam's incision is too small. More things crop up. Jackie Wood is out on maternity leave. She's going to be returning to filming when Bold resumes shooting at their new facility. They begin filming on August 19th. Therefore, Steffi likely won't be shown in episodes until mid to late September. Taylor and Nick bond over their broken hearts. When the Bold and the Beautiful brought Captain Nick Marone back to the CBS soap, they hinted that Jack Wagner would be sticking around for several months. Whatever mayhem happens in Naples, It's anticipated that Nick will return to Los Angeles, and he's just getting started stirring up havoc. Since Nick returned to B&B, the Marone Industries tycoon has had his eye on Brooke Logan. But will he turn to Taylor when Brooke won't get back together with him? Here's what's coming up next on the CBS soap. Spoilers down below. Nick Marone gets shut down. The Forrester Creations team is on location in Italy right now, and Brooke Logan is in for a romantic treat in Naples. Despite imploring Ridge to reevaluate their relationship, Brooke is flying to Europe as a single woman. Now that she's officially on the market, bold reports claim Captain Nick Marone may prepare an over-the-top proposal for his ex. Soap spoilers indicate Nick's romantic plans will go south, and there will even be a frightening mishap on the sea in the process. When the dust settles in Italy, Ridge will proclaim his love for Brooke. The only thing is, Ridge seems to have forgotten about his fiancée, Taylor, back in Los Angeles. Bridge reunion leaves Taylor single. Bridge will press full steam ahead with their reunion, and Nick and Taylor will be left out in the cold. What a lot of fans don't realize is Nick used to be married to Taylor too. The bold and the beautiful spoilers predict Taylor will be upset when Ridge runs off with Brooke, and Nick will give her a shoulder to weep on. Will their mutual heartbreak turn to something more? As Italy's golden sun poured over the glittering Amalfi coast, Brooke Logan stood on the edge of a luxury yacht, her chiffon gown rippling in the breeze, oblivious that danger waited in the deep blue below. Nick Marone's voice beckoned from behind, ring box tucked in his palm, heart beating as he rehearsed the proposal that may rewrite history. But destiny had other intentions. Back in Los Angeles, the walls of deception were crashing in on Dr. Grace Buckingham as Finn Finnegan quietly pieced together the unpleasant reality about Liam's supposed brain surgery. His incision far too shallow, his recovery too clean. Suspicion escalated to fear as Grace trembled outside the door where Finn murmured to Bridget Forrester, "It doesn't add up." Meanwhile, Luna Nozoa lay comatose in a concealed hospital room under Lee Finnegan's control. A terrible echo of the deception Lee previously told when she faked Finn's death. But this time, Sheila Carter felt it in her soul. Her granddaughter wasn't gone, and she wanted to find out why. Deacon watched Sheila collapse, torn between protecting her and doubting everything Luna ever stood for. Yet in Sheila's eyes, Luna was family, flawed, impulsive, but not irredeemable, and she wouldn't rest until the truth clawed its way into the light. Back in Italy, the Forrester fashion show glittered with glamour as Eric raised a toast, focused on reuniting Ridge and Brooke before Nick could make his move. Eric's ruse had worked. Ridge and Brooke had landed on the same boat, their chemistry apparent, but Ridge swore his devotion still rested with Taylor. But Brooke, ever the light of hope and grief, swayed between the ghosts of Ridge's broken vows and Nick's restored devotion. Taylor, watching from afar, could feel Ridge slipping, and though she attempted to hold her head high, she began packing her bags in silent defeat. In the shadows, Eric encouraged Nick to abort his proposition, but the Marone tycoon had never backed down from a romantic mission, not in Rome, not in LA, and especially not in Naples. But fate intervened with a violent twist. As Nick prepared to ask the question at a private boat lunch, the motor stalled, the hull swayed, and Brooke staggered backward, her heel snagging the slick deck, tumbling over the railing into the Mediterranean. A scream pierced the air. Nick dove after her. On shore, Ridge felt a cold slither down his spine. By the time he got at the scene, Brooke had been hauled from the water, soaked, shaken, but alive, and as Ridge knelt beside her, the world froze. "You're the one," he whispered. "It's always been you." Tears mingled with sea spray as their lips touched, closing another chapter in their decades-long narrative. But as Ridge reached for her hand, Brooke turned toward Nick, wounded not by the fall, but by the fact she was still split between two men. Back in Los Angeles, Luna stirred for the first time in days. Her fingers jerked, her breath hitched, and Lee gripped her wrist, administering more sedative. But Sheila watching from a concealed camera she'd set in Lee's so-called clinic, witnessed it all. The deception, the manipulation, the same strategy Lee employed on Finn. And this time, Sheila wasn't staying silent. Deacon encouraged prudence, but Sheila packed a bag, repeating to herself, "No one buries my blood alive again." Meanwhile, Finn approached Grace at the hospital. "Was Liam ever really dying?" he asked, voice cold. Grace cracked. "It was just a diagnostic experiment. It wasn't supposed to go that far." But Finn was already calling the Board of Medical Ethics. As Bill Spencer heard he'd been cheated out of $1 million, his fists clenched, and he vowed retaliation. Hope Logan, broken by the falsehoods, turned her back on Carter, who had guarded Grace's secret, and raced straight into Liam's arms, unsure if it was real love or trauma bonding. In Italy, as Ridge and Brooke celebrated their reunion, Taylor encountered Nick at a candlelit pub. "We lost them both," she continued, her eyes streaming. "But maybe that means we found each other." He lifted his glass in quiet agreement, and for the first time in weeks, Taylor didn't feel so alone. But storm clouds were forming. Luna's eyes flickered open. "Where am I?" she whispered. Lee froze. The sedative had failed, and with consciousness came memory. Blood, shouting, a syringe in her own hand. "I didn't shoot Liam," Luna gasped. "Someone else, someone who looked like me." Lee's face drained of color. Across town, Sheila dashed into the clinic. "You're done playing God," she hissed, brushing Lee aside. "Let her speak." Luna looked up, eyes wild. You're my grandmother." Sheila went to her knees. "And I'm here to save you." Meanwhile, in Italy, Brooke received a text from Bridget. "You need to come home. It's Luna. She's alive." Brooke paled, her hand slipping from Ridge's. "Luna, wasn't she the one who shot Liam?" Ridge frowned. Or was she framed? The camera panned back to Los Angeles, where a woman watched Luna's awakening from a tablet in a luxury suite. She smirked, adjusting her wig. Rana Nozawa was very much alive, and the game had just begun. She said to herself, one Luna down, one Spencer to go. And somewhere deep in a Spencer Publications server room, a security video of the real shooting played on a loop, revealing a masked figure with the same eyes as Luna, only colder. As the battle lines formed once more, lives would be torn, loyalty strained, and nothing would be the same. Because in Los Angeles, no secret remains buried forever, not even beneath $1 million deception, a manufactured death, or the Mediterranean Sea. Brooke and Nick reconnect in Italy, and Lee's shocking secret is revealed. In Italy, Brooke, Ridge, and Eric enthuse over the splendor of the Amalfi Coast as they travel to the hotel. Fans wave as they pull up, and Eric chortles, "Let's make some memories." They're welcomed to Naples and led into the hotel and taken to the rooftop for a reception. They delight at the surroundings and can't wait for the enchantment of Italy to begin. Brooke B&B. On a dock, Nick is hailed by a man who points off his boat and Luigi, who is working on it. Nick reminds him it needs to be ready. He has something incredibly spectacular planned. Luigi is given further instructions, and the host wonders what Nick has planned for the day. It's a voyage to a wonderful realm, where if you kiss your loved one there, your love will have eternal life. Nick grins. That's the plan, my man. Luigi wrestles with a difficulty with the boat's steering wheel. Luigi boat B&B. More. Amber and Deacon reconnect. Nick constantly pressing his host that everything needs to be flawless. The man says there seems to be a problem with the boat's hydraulics, but that they're getting to the bottom of it. Once the man goes gone, Nick glances up and sees Brooke at her rooftop gathering. He muses, time to let the fun begin. Nick B&B. On the roof, Brooke, Ridge, and Eric greet several visitors, and Eric thanks everyone for being there, and they all raise their glasses. Sell it. Ridge looks out at a maroon ship and then rejoins Brooke and some guests for a selfie. He then excuses himself. Eric makes arrangements to travel to Capri early in the morning, while Brooke gasps in shock as Nick appears. Ciao, Bella! Brooke B&B. Nick asks Brooke to have a little fun. She thinks she can squeeze it in. He won't take no for an answer. She chuckles, okay. Nick says it's a date. Eric observes as they share a kiss. Brooke, Nick, B&B. Taylor and Donna debate. At the Forrester mansion, Taylor tells Donna she just got a text from Ridge. They arrived in Italy safely. Donna misses her honey bear and Taylor misses Ridge already. They wish they could have tagged along. Taylor says they will next time when it's not a work trip. She wonders if Nick Marone will be crashing the festivities. Donna remarks on him returning to L.A. out of nowhere. More. An accident in Naples transforms everything.